Welcome to the Elevator Podcast. I'm Heather Nemelka, your host, and here is another episode about building confidence, whether you are thinking about returning to the workforce or you're just considering a new habit yourself or trying something new in your life. And today we're going to talk about confidence and how it is built. It's not just natural. So some people may say, oh, that person was just born with confidence. But the reality is that took time to develop. It's not something that is naturally instilled. I think children, when they are born and they're growing up, they naturally have a lot of confidence. But as women, we have to build that confidence over time. So we also had this same confidence when we were young, but over time we started to lose that confidence. Maybe somebody told us that we weren't good at something, or maybe we recognized that we did a bad job as a mother. So we put ourselves down and we lose that confidence. And I'm here to tell you that you are so much more than you think you are, and that you are amazing. And we're going to build confidence on this journey together. So I am going to be your Sherpa guide as you continue on this journey, and it's going to be hopefully a really great experience for you and for me. So a lot of women feel like, they tell themselves that they can't do something because they've never done it before. And as a mother, you were never a mother before. Once you made the decision you were going to have children, you became a mother, and it wasn't something you could prepare for. There are plenty of books out there, but there's really not a manual on how to be a mother. And so over time, you built confidence as a mother, and it wasn't something you had any experience with. And so as you build this confidence in whatever area of your life you're planning on growing in, it's going to come little by little. And something that I really love is I love reading self-help books. And I am a big proponent of reading books that will help me become a better person. And I love this book, Atomic Habits. And we're going to talk a lot on this episode about atomic habits and some of the things and the principles that I've learned from this book, because it's changed my life in so many ways. And this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, is a book that basically the main principle of it is building habits little by little over time helps you develop the bigger habits, and then you become used to it and it becomes a part of your daily life. And I think these small atomic, habits that you do over time make up who you become, and that builds on your confidence too. So, for example, a quote that I love is, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. And I want you to think about what type of person you want to become. So right now you're a mother. Right now you might also identify as a sister or an aunt or a friend or a neighbor. And maybe you have some hobbies that you would identify yourself as a runner or an antique collector. But I want you to think about the type of person you want to become this year and in the future, because you're so much more than a mother. A mother is amazing. And lots of times when we refer to ourselves, we say, I'm just a mom. And if somebody asks you what you do, oftentimes if you're a stay-at-home mom, you say, I'm just a mom. And that's how you identify. You identify with what you do every day. So if I was working as a carpenter or a lawyer, I would identify as a lawyer. I would say, okay, I'm a lawyer when I introduce myself. But oftentimes as mothers, we put ourselves down and we say, I'm just a mom. And you are not just a mom. You are so much more. But again, you've just forgotten who you really are. And a lot of this journey of self-confidence is discovering who you are and who you were always meant to become. So I want you to take some time and again, pull out that journal or that notebook and write down, who is it that you want to be? And the reality is you may not even know. And lots of times, especially as mothers, we put so much into our children that we lose ourselves in the process. And it's something that naturally happens because we're doing so much good for our families and our children that naturally over time, we put our needs and wants on the back burner because they just don't seem as important. And honestly, a lot of the times we're just surviving. We're in survival mode. And so who wants to try to break that up by doing something for, yourself? I know that I, for the longest time, didn't do anything for myself because I was trying to put everything I had into my children. And that takes a ton of energy. And those efforts are very time consuming and tiring. And so I want you to recognize that this process of becoming is going to take time because you may not even know who you want to be. You may not remember who you used to be before you were a mom, even. And I know that this was how I was. I remember somebody asking me what my favorite breakfast was, and I couldn't even tell them because I had been making my kids' favorite breakfast for so many years that I stopped getting my choice and having what I wanted for breakfast. And it just made life easier to do what everybody else wanted. And so you are going to have to take some time to think about who you want to become. And it's not going to be immediate. And you may have to think about this for the next week. And it might be helpful to talk to friends and family of just having them help you remember who you were before you became a mom. And what would you like your life to look like? And if you want to work outside of the home and you also want to be a mom, consider what that might be. Would you be working part-time? Would you be working full-time? Do you want to just develop a new hobby? Do you want to learn how to play the piano? Is there something that outside of motherhood you can get excited about? And we're going to talk today about those small habits that will help you become who you were always meant to be. And again, you're going to be building confidence over time, little by little. So if you want to feel stronger and more self-assured, you want to make one daily decision just for you. And this is not easy because as a mother, you never put yourself first. You are usually always the last. And I remember I was looking at some Christmas photographs. My dad used to always take a family photo every single year. And one year he gave my mother a framed assortment or collage of all these Christmas pictures that he had taken over the years. And it was matted inside a frame. And when I was looking at these photos, and I was a young adult at the time, I saw that 5 of the photos, my mom was wearing the exact same outfit, same sweater, same pants, same blouse. And I said to her, Mom, why were you wearing the same outfit over, 5 or 6 years of photographs for family Christmas pictures? And she said, Heather, it was more important that you had a new outfit than me. And so she sacrificed what she wanted so that I could have something new to wear for the family Christmas card. And I think as mothers, that's often what we do. We sacrifice ourselves because our family is so important to us. Our children are so important to us. And it's unfortunate because that actually puts ourselves down. And actually that can help us, get on this path of losing this self-confidence because we stop standing up for ourselves. We stop saying what we really want. And so I really want you to think about what you're going to do daily for yourself, a decision you make just for yourself, and this will build confidence. It seems like a small thing, and it is a small thing, but it does make a difference. And this book, Atomic Habits, talks about the small steps you make every day that become the big habits over time. And he talks about tiny gains, and it's 1% better every single day. And this confidence compounds over time, and it doesn't happen overnight. Again, it just happens daily over time. So if you are thinking about returning to work, but it seems very overwhelming, spend 5 minutes a day researching what type of job you might want to consider. Spend 5 minutes a day reaching out to other people, asking them what they do, learning more about their careers, and understanding what the possibilities are. And so again, just small little things you're going to do every single day to get you closer to your goal, whether it's returning to the workforce or doing something else in your life. Something else that we're going to talk about more on another episode is mom guilt. And so oftentimes we put ourselves down, and I want you to think about one thing you did every day to overcome this mom guilt. I am the worst with mom guilt. I'm just going to admit it. I can find something to feel guilty about almost every single day. So I want you to be on this journey with me, and I'm going to be trying, hopefully along with you, to overcome this mom guilt to get to the point where, okay, you're going to do something every single day that's going to build yourself up and get over that mom guilt. So for example, let's say you had a day that was super busy and was crazy and chaotic. You yelled at your kids. You were not your best self. Well, you're going to build confidence because you're going to find something that you can say you did really well that day. So for example, it could be, I read to my kids at night. I was patient when my son was putting on his shoes. Look for those moments. Again, small little, pieces. Those habits are going to build up over time. And also just make time for yourself every day, even though it's going to be very easy for you to just put yourself off because you don't think you're as important as everybody else in the family is. So another area that we're going to talk about is how your environment shapes your self-confidence. So if you're around, oftentimes you're around your children all day and they are tearing you down often. They might say, Mom, this food was terrible that you made, or you got me late to my piano lesson. I was really embarrassed. Or Mom, why do you always say stupid things? Whatever it is, we get put down all the time by those in our surroundings. It could be if you're already in the workforce, you might be dealing with really hard people at work that are putting you down and ruining your self-confidence that way as well. And so this confidence starts at home. And so wherever you are in your environment, whether you're at home or you're in the workplace, you need to be thinking about, how can I build confidence in spite of these actions and activities that are coming at you every single day that are, going to tear down your self-confidence. And one of the things that seems, again, very simple and easy, but I always struggle with, is speaking about yourself in a positive way. And I didn't realize that I, for a long time, kept saying, I'm an idiot. I would do something wrong. I would spill something and I would say, oh, I'm such an idiot. And one of my kids said, Mom, you're not an idiot. And I didn't realize I was saying it just naturally. Anytime I made a mistake, I would just call myself an idiot. And when we are down and hard on ourselves, and our kids hear that, then that also doesn't help our situation. And it can help, it can increase our lack of self-confidence because we're already picking on ourselves and we're thinking we're not that great. So I share that because I know if I'm feeling that and I say that about myself, and I think of myself now as having a lot of confidence, but even though I have that confidence, I will sometimes slip up and call myself an idiot, which I know I'm not an idiot, but sometimes I'll say that. And if we demean ourselves, especially in front of those around us, whether they're coworkers or family, they will internalize that. And we want our children especially to be confident in themselves. And if they are seeing us talking bad about ourselves in a very demeaning way, then they're not going to be confident about themselves. And so they're going to think, oh, well, if my mom's an idiot and when I make a mistake, then I must be an idiot too. And that's simply not true. But we just have to be very careful about how our environment shapes us. And something we're going to talk about in another episode, but I'm going to mention it briefly here, are positive affirmations. And so there was a period of time when I was going through some challenging moments at work, and I was dealing with some difficult requirements and responsibilities. And I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. And so I made a list of positive affirmations that I could say about myself every single day. And I printed these out and I put them on my mirror and I put them next to my computer, so that anytime I started to doubt myself and lose self-confidence, I could read one of these statements to remind myself that I am capable of so much more. So I think my first list of affirmations went something like, I am smart, I am capable, I am kind, I am helpful, I am strategic. All of these different statements that became my positive affirmations, so that when I was wanting to talk about myself negatively or think about myself negatively, I could look at these positive affirmations and remind myself that I was so much more, and I was capable of so much more. And like I said, we'll talk more about positive affirmations another time, but I did want to just talk about how if you are surrounded by people in your environment that are bringing you down, you might need some positive affirmations on a piece of paper next to your computer or on your mirror in your bathroom to build yourself up. So something else that I think is a really great habit to start is this never miss twice rule. And this is a concept that was brought about in this book, Atomic Habits. And the concept is missing once is an accident and missing twice is the start of a new habit. And I love that concept because it gives yourself a little grace to recognize that if you miss one day of speaking kindly or one day of exercise that you were going to do or a pattern that you were trying to develop and you had one day where you slipped up, the idea is to get right back into that positive habit by the next day doing it and not letting yourself decide, oh, well, I missed it. I'm done. My New Year's resolutions or the good habits that I started, I might as well not continue because I messed up. And we can beat ourselves up over just one slip up. And that's not how it works. Like I said last time, I am always looking for opportunities to do a reset and thinking about my Mondays as the first day of the week and the first day of each month and the first day of every year as a reset. And we also need to think of our habits every day as a reset. So if you missed one day, give yourself a break. It's okay. Like, especially like when I'm sick, I might miss more than one day, but I don't intentionally miss more than one day. And another quote that I really like too is that sometimes it feels like it's all or nothing. It's this idea of it, you have to be perfect or you might as well not try to do it. And confidence, like I said earlier, is built over time. So you're going to have lots of days where you slip up. And it's not that you're going to give yourself that one day that you made a mistake and you start again. But sometimes you'll be on vacation or you will have a week where you're sick and you're going to miss more than one day. And I want to tell you that that's perfectly okay. Just start again on Monday. Or let's say you have a month where nothing went right and everything went wrong and you're just, again, in survival mode. Then get right back into the habit the start of the next month. And it's okay because you're not developing a bad habit just like that. It takes time, just like it takes time to develop good habits, it takes time to develop bad habits. And so give yourself the grace to start over again. And just don't get in the habit of thinking that it's all or nothing and that it's no use. I might as well just quit right now because I'm no good at it. And I've had times in my life when things have been really stressful. And so I'm not as good about having good habits. And that's okay because I know I'm not gonna stay there forever. And I'm going to give myself grace and then get right back into the good habits that I want to have always. So give yourself a chance to, try to never miss twice and follow that never miss twice rule if possible. But also recognize that life sometimes just happens. And as mothers, we have lots of things that interrupt our days and interrupt the good habits that we want to build. Another thing we're going to talk about is this confidence challenge. And it's a mini challenge where you're going to find one area of your life and you're going to choose one small habit to build it. So I think lots of us will start with New Year's resolutions, for example, to eat better. And I know I had that as a New Year's resolution. And originally I was going to, cut out sweets and cut out carbs. And I thought, okay, this is going to be a great habit for the rest of the year. And I'm going to get in better shape, etc. And I got sick. I went on vacation. I had lots of things that did not set me up for success. So I decided to adjust it. And I think this was the key for me, was adjusting it so that I had a good habit of eating well during the week. And on the weekends, I was able to eat what I wanted. And for me, that's what worked. Again, I just found, a small habit that I wanted to start with and build on it. what's interesting is over time, you stop wanting to eat some of those bad things on the weekend. So when I first started this habit, I wanted to just binge. I wanted to eat all the ice cream and candy that I hadn't eaten all week because I felt like I deserved it. And pretty soon after I was eating really well all the week long, not eating my sugars and eating in excess with carbs, I found on the weekend that I just didn't desire it as much. So it was a small habit, a small change that then affected my lifestyle and really made a big difference. And so let's say you want to get back in the workforce. So you're going to set a small habit for networking. So you might have a general habit of being better at networking, talking to people about their jobs, talking about what's possible, finding out careers and different companies. And so you will start this habit of networking with a small habit of talking to people that you know about their career, about the company that they work for, and you're just going to ask them questions. Again, if you're wanting to re-enter the workforce, this is something that can be really helpful. And then that small habit is going to build confidence in you, and you're going to start talking to people that you don't know. You're going to feel comfortable going to a networking event or a career fair, or you're going to feel comfortable getting on LinkedIn and reaching out to people that you don't know at all. So you start with the people that you do know and get into the small habit of networking, and then that will build to people that you don't know. Again, these small little habits that you're going to build into bigger ones. And again, it's something that you're going to just try over time, and little by little, this confidence challenge will build confidence. It'll give you that evidence. Remember how we talked about last time that confidence requires evidence. So if you're doing these small habits daily and weekly and monthly, then over time you can look back and say, oh my goodness, I actually did accomplish a lot. And that helps build confidence. Again, that evidence. But you're going to want to write this in your journal or in a notebook because you're going to forget. You're going to forget that you even set these small habits, because over time you'll get better and better, and then you'll recognize that it's just natural. So one of the habits I have is to go to the gym in the morning. And because it's just part of my daily routine, I don't think to myself, oh, Heather, you've got to make sure that you set that New Year's resolution. It's my New Year's resolution. It's natural for me because I've been doing it for so many years. But if you want to do something that you haven't done before and it's something you're not comfortable with, you're going to have to build that confidence little by little. So it will take time. So in closing, confidence is not about big leaps. It's about small wins. It's about taking the time to actually discover who you are, who you want to become, and what does that future look like. It's about building over time those habits that you know are going to serve you well, that are going to help you, develop a better attitude about who you are, a better attitude about the mother that you are. And that confidence will also carry over to your children. They'll be able to see how confident you are, and it'll actually build confidence in your own kids as well. And having habits, whether it's, developing a list of positive affirmations or reading this book that actually is so amazing. And you can get, you can find a copy at your library. You don't have to buy it. You can listen to it on Audible. You can, Google it. And I'm sure there's lots of different principles and excerpts out of it. You can find quotes from the book. And so just learning about some of those, the concept of these building on these small habits over time is going to serve you well in whatever you do. So, and do this confidence challenge. Take the time to do something small and daily. Over time, you're going to build into the kind of person that you want to become and the person that you were always meant to be. So I encourage you to subscribe and follow our Elevare podcast, share it with friends. And if you feel so inclined, leave a comment below and help us grow our channel. We're really excited to be able to share more about Elevare and help you build confidence over time, because this is what set me up for success. And it's small wins every single day that have helped me become the person that I am today. So thanks for joining us.